for 2010 as well. Nice to have you back once again. But you guys are in a bit of a transitional stage there over at the Mohawk Studios.
Yes, we are indeed. We're moving to Wellington over the course of the next 3 to 4 weeks. So we're currently, we've packed up our studios. We're doing up the house for sale. Sold the car. We're car free.
And obviously, weather for you isn't a factor when moving to Wellington.
Well, weather to a geek is more a case of how your broadband's going.
Right, yeah.
The stuff that goes on in the outside world, that place with a really high ceiling that changes colour.
Doesn't matter.
That place there, it doesn't really affect me that much.
No, fair enough.
Because I don't really go out in that as often as normal people do.
And probably over the next couple of weeks, less likely to, now that the RPM challenge is underway once again.
Indeed. This is something that I found out about last year, and I entered fully intending to do the RPM challenge, which is quite a challenge, actually. It's write and record an album in a month.
It's a tight time frame.
It is, reasonably. And the prize is nothing.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is brilliant. Everybody in it is doing it just for the challenge of writing and recording an album in February.
Tell us more about this, because this is obviously not the first year that this has been underway.
No, it's been going on for about 5 years now. Yeah, so it's the 5th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
And I found out about it last year, and I entered, and everything was going well. And halfway through last February, I went to Foo Camp, Friends of O'Reilly, which is a kind of geek conference. And we got involved in the Section 92
That's right.
stuff.
Oh, that was a year
ago. And the Blackout campaign last year.
Yeah.
And I basically spent 2 weeks fighting Blackout instead of doing the album.
Yeah.
So that basically fell apart last year. It was a little disappointing for me, but just after that happened, on my blog post on RPM, I got somebody replied to my post about how I'd failed, saying that they found out about the RPM challenge because I mentioned it last year on national radio.
All right.
And they completed it.
Oh, they did. How did they do? How did the album do?
I'm not sure because I got distracted and I never really listened to it. I'm going to go and check that out now because now I've said that on national radio, I feel really stink.
Yeah, that's right. What was the point of? Well, I mean, what is the point of the challenge, really?
Well, really, it's so many musicians have loads of great ideas floating around, and they only ever seem to coalesce or crystallize into some form when we're under some sort of pressure. I mean, I don't know about other musos, but I'm terrible in the studio. Yeah. I can just whittle away for hours and record nothing.
Yeah.
And my playing isn't very good in the studio, but you stick me up in a live situation with pressure on.
Yeah.
And it's a totally different thing. You nail things get done, bands come together and actually get gigs done, that sort of thing. So it's just an attempt to put that sort of allow people to put that sort of pressure on themselves to actually get something finished.
And this is an international thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll find most of the bands involved are American, but it's completely international. They're from all over the place.
Right.
And one of the great things as well is that if you go to rpmchallenge.com/jukebox, you can hear all of the songs that have ever been done for the RPM challenge. Now let's have a little look at some of the numbers there. There's over 850 albums have been completed on the RPM challenge in the last 5 years. So that jukebox has got more than 8,000 songs on it.
Yeah.
All done by people who just enthusiastically wanted to finish their own album.
Now, RPM kind of insinuates electronic music, but is it all electronic?
Oh, no. It's I'd say there's probably more acoustic than electronic.
Okay.
Probably because it's a bit easier to record a guitar and a voice and a microphone than it is to put together something electronic.
Yeah.
It really is. It's completely wide-ranging on genre. There's no, it has to be rock or country or dance or anything. It's just whatever you want to do. And one of the things that I find really exciting about this is when you see the success of projects like this, most of the people involved really are amateur musicians or semi-pros.
Yeah.
They're not people who've already got record deals.
Yeah.
And it's just showing the power of ordinary people to actually record their own music, which is what I think is the future of the music industry. I think it's more people producing as a better ratio between people producing music and people listening to music.
It really sounds like perhaps it's a creative kick in the pants.
It is. When I have a listen through the jukebox, yes, you'll hear some crap songs there. You'll hear some songs that aren't to your liking, but you'll also hear songs that you would never have heard on commercial radio.
Yeah.
I mean, well off the wall. The subject matter people deal with, no one's thought at all as to what will sell or what will play on the radio. They simply make their music. So a lot of it is, the lyrics tend to be quirky and funny. No one's really trying to make the best piece of pop lyric in the universe. They're just trying to write something that's relevant to them. Yeah. Which personally I usually find more interesting and entertaining myself.
So, so at the end of it, you've had the creative kick in the pants. You got the album out there, and then also there's, I suppose, the possibility of other people, finding out about your music through the challenge itself.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people do it, because not only are you getting exposure to all of the people who are listening to this music on the challenge, is you're also getting exposure to all of the people involved in the challenge. Yeah. Lots of people talk to each other on their blog postings. They, they help each other with issues. Not just sort of the usual ones you'd think of. How do I record a guitar cleanly or something like that. Yeah. But songwriting issues, the psychological issues. How do I get over